Welcome to Love's Buzz Podcast for Sunday, January 27th, 2019. Personal. As promised in my very first podcast, Getting to Know Me and Meet Me, I promised you that I would be talking about some personal things, and here's the very first one that I wanted to talk about that is personal to me. Neighbors. You get some good ones, you get some bad ones. You know, I would hope that everybody takes a look at their neighbors and takes a moment to see, does my neighbor need a hand? I'm plowing my driveway. My neighbor can't. Here, let me plow my neighbor's driveway. Let me remove the snow. Let me help them with the grass. Let me just lend a small little hand. Anything. I find it absolutely extremely disgusting to know that some people can watch somebody beside them and not help them at all. Watch them struggle and not help them at all. It's terrible. Personal. I am a caretaker for my mom. We have some great neighbors. We have some bad ones. On one side of us, we have a fantastic neighbor who will say, hey, if you need a ride to the mail, don't worry about it. Let me know and I'll take you. That's amazing. Just something small like that can be incredible. We live in an area where we don't get home mail delivery. Everything has to go to a post office box. And sometimes it's not always easy because I don't drive. So it's not always easy to be able to get to the mail. So that's very sweet. A neighbor who's even offered, if you need something in town, let me know. I'll bring you. That is fantastic. That's a beautiful soul. That's the kind of thing we need of more in the world. Now, then you have neighbors on the other side who can look at you and see you're buried in, see somebody who's having a hard time, struggling, has no money, bad luck for so long, and can turn around and sit there and actually walk out of the house, ignore you, and do their best to not even look at you, and walk the other way. Using their snowblower, snowblowing their yard. They see that you're completely snowed in and you don't have a snowblower and you're not that strong yourself. I mean, what, should we sell our home because we can't plow the driveway? I mean, if somebody is having a hard time, I wouldn't like to think I would. I know I would help out if I knew my next door neighbor was having a hard time. I would definitely do that. I've done that. I've been that person. Take a look at your neighbor. See who you're dealing with. See who you can help. Believe me, it will go a long way. It's so important. You get what you give in this life. And your neighbors, sometimes just the smallest little hand will be the biggest blessing to that person, maybe for a whole year long. A whole year long. Being a caretaker to my mom has been very, very sick. And on a personal note, there's a lot to deal with in a day. And so, it makes me look more at the people around me and the world around me and seeing, through a very, very different set of eyes. So I thought I would do a quick little podcast about it because I'll tell you, these days and ages, people are so focused on their day-to-day, they miss everything that is going on around them. Take a minute. Stop. Just stop. That 1 minute that you take to say, hey, can I help you? You don't even know how far that will go. And this is not a preach. I don't want to preach to anybody because, some of you listening could be the biggest blessing in the world, and you were so helpful every day. You could already be people that just giving somebody a hug or shaking their hand, you could already be that person who makes everybody's day. And if you are listening and you are one of these people, mwah, thank you for that. Thank you for that. We need more like you in the world. That's what we need. So thank you. And for those of you that maybe don't, just because circumstances have had your head rushing and you're just so fast and moving and just missing it, don't miss it. Take a moment, because you never know. I'm going to tell you something. You may need it one day. You might need somebody to do that for you. So take a moment. It's not a preaching. It's just something I wanted to discuss. Because I just see things through different eyes, I think, as a caretaker now. So it means a lot to me. And just to look at people, like I said, my one neighbor has been absolutely incredible. And I want to give her kudos. I'm not going to mention her name. That wouldn't be right. Not without her consent or any of that kind of thing. But she is a blessing. I adore her and her family. They are amazing. And anyways, once again, another great podcast between you and me. So once again, this is the Buzz Podcast. Yes, for Sunday, January 27th, 2019.